So hello, my name is Claire. I am a painter and I'm also really interested in fiber arts. So I do a lot of crochet, a lot of knitting, and yeah, I'm just going to be sharing a lot of that here on YouTube. So if you're interested in painting, fiber arts, even a little bit of ceramics as well, I do all of that. So follow along if you're interested in that. And today I'm just going to be going through a lot of the projects that I have in mind for this spring and early summer. I'm so excited for warmer weather. It's going to be 80 degrees here today in Chicago and I'm pumped for that. So today I'm just going to be kind of rolling through some of my ideas for things that I would like to knit, crochet, a little bit of some sewing. And I'm also going to be talking about what I do to incorporate painting into fashion and a couple ideas I have for that I want to try in the next couple weeks as well. And then also one more thing, if you're interested in anything that I mention or any ideas that I have, I am probably going to be making videos for all of them. I'm really excited to do that. So if you're interested in any of them and would like to see what I end up attempting with them, definitely follow along and you will see what comes of these ideas. So without further ado, if I do happen to mention anything where I know that there's a pattern or I know that there's like a chart or something, I will try and link it down below. I don't usually use patterns for any of my pieces in terms of knit and crochet, but I do definitely use a good stitch chart here and there. And if I do mention anything or I know there's a pattern, I know a lot of people do use them, so if you see that and you're curious, I will try and link them down below. But the first kind of category I'm gonna kind of work into is my crochet ideas. And the first one is accessories. So for accessories, I have been seeing a lot of promo for raffia yarns, and I know you can find these on Hobby, and I know Wool and the Gang does a raffia yarn that I think might be a little more expensive, and it's really just like a plant fiber. I think it will be like a really cool idea to either use raffia yarn for weaving or crochet. And I have seen just a couple ideas for crochet bags that I'm really interested, like this red one here I think is so beautiful. It's got like these really pretty flower kind of motifs and a really nice shape. Now I don't generally go for super floral crochet patterns, but I think this one is really speaking to me. I like the shape of the bag. I do think I would switch up the kind of stitch for the crochet, but this definitely piqued my interest for raffia. I think I also really like this one with the brown here. I like maybe like a smaller kind of bag for this kind of idea because I don't know how strong some of these yarns would be and how much like it can carry. But yeah, I'm super interested in trying to use raffia. I haven't seen it done a whole lot here on YouTube. I don't know if I'm just kind of missing it, but I have a feeling that it could be really cool for this summer and kind of beachy. I also have always had this crochet pin on Pinterest saved for ages. It's just this crochet hat, and when I was thinking of the raffia crochet, this one would be so pretty in a raffia kind of crochet. I did attempt to make a similar kind of crochet bucket hat last year, and it did not go well. It was really floppy. I think the stitches that I used were just too loose and airy, and it just wasn't working. But I definitely want a round 2 for this. I definitely want to try and attempt a sun hat, and I'm super particular about hats, so this is an area where it could be quite a tough project for me, where I would overthink it, and I'm up for the challenge, and I think I'm leaning more towards a hat than one of the bags because I already do have a lot of bags. Now, another crochet idea that I really like, and it's also an accessory, is like ponchos, which have been huge lately. I think everyone and their mother has crocheted or knitted a poncho. One that I'm super interested in is this picture of a very loose knit poncho. Now I do have like a super airy, loose yarn that would be perfect for this. It's white, it's kind of fluffy. I have no idea where it is, but I think it would be really pretty for something almost exactly like this. Then there's this other one that is more crochet, a little looser with some fringe, and I think that would be much more outside of my comfort zone and something I would definitely want to try with all that fringe and like a big loose crochet stitch. I think that would be really pretty for beach cover-ups or putting on for going out over like a really nice dress, perhaps with like a sparkly sequin yarn. Those are two poncho ideas that I have that I'm actually super excited about, but something tells me that I will probably wait to do one of these. I'm kind of more excited about some of the other ideas that I have. Now, I have 3 or 4 more ideas for what I want to crochet and knit for different kind of projects. I think I'll go with 2 top ideas first. Now the first one I think I'm going to do is just this idea for a kind of loose or super simple knit. I like this one that ties in the back a lot. I think I'll mention it in my next video, how I really want to try putting beads in crochet and kind of putting them in, or knitting, kind of putting them in where I've left eyelet holes or holes in the crochet afterwards, so it looks like they are kind of suspended in the empty space. So one idea for that is something like this with some like diagonal holes going all the way across, a super simple knit with just the beads as a highlight in the knit piece. I think that would be super fun to create, especially the one with the eyelets. I do need a little bit more practice with adding eyelets in crochet, so I think this would be a really great idea. I have a lot of beads. I have some sea glass beads that I think would be perfect for this. I actually also have a yarn that I'm thinking of for doing this like super loose flowy top with perhaps some sea glass or a colorful bead woven in, and that's this Cascade Noble cotton. It's very nice. It's actually very shiny, a taupe color. I like this color. I do think it might be a little boring to knit with, but I think after I add colorful beads in it and everything, it might be really pretty, and it will make the beads stand out a lot. So I have this yarn that I'm thinking of doing that with. I do have some other ideas, and I do have a couple more yarns lined up for some of these projects. I might kind of switch them around and stuff, but one thing I really want to do is a really loose, full length kind of skirt. Now for that, I have a ton. I think this is like a couple balls altogether. It's like a huge ball of a really fine yarn. It's, I think, the Manos de Uruguay silk in like fine fino. You can tell it's like super skinny. I don't think I have any yarn quite as skinny as this yarn, and I think it will be perfect for a loose knit crochet piece. However, the color, I feel like it's just a little too minty for me. I loved it when I first got it, but now I don't know if it's something that I would gravitate towards. So I'm thinking what I'm gonna do is maybe crochet it up and then dye it with a little bit of yellow dye. Just a little bit, because it is all natural fiber, so I think it will be pretty easy to dye. I have some yellow Rit dye for natural fibers, and I think this would be really pretty as like a slightly more limey green. I saw this one photo from Loopy Studios Pinterest of this very open knit crochet skirt that she did, and absolutely phenomenal. It is so gorgeous. I'm kind of really liking this kind of loose knit vibe in a yellowy color, and I found these 2 crochet stitch ideas on Pinterest. One is much easier. This is the easier one. I could definitely tell how to create this stitch, but this is the one that I am in love with. Now this one, for the life of me, I can't figure out what the heck is going on here, but I'm so determined to attempt to try creating this. And if I have enough yarn for it, I also really love these two beautiful, beautiful dress ideas. Stunning. I think if I did one of these two dresses with one of these yarns and that super loose stitch, it would be absolutely stunning and like a really beautiful cover up. I don't really have many long dresses anymore. I think this would be just perfect. I would wear it all the time, I believe. Another idea for a dress I have, and yeah, this one I do have some yarn that I'm keeping in mind for this one. I have all of this. I have a couple more balls and another skein of this. It's also Cascade cotton. Ultra Pima Cascade cotton. So it's this really shiny, beautiful, beautiful cotton. I love this cotton. I am doing another video next week that involves this cotton in a bronzy color. It's just absolutely so gorgeous. This is in ginseng, I believe. It's just this nice, really soft green. I saw this photo on Pinterest from a user who on TikTok goes by Cool Guy Central 69. I believe she created this really beautiful, entirely crochet mini dress. I'm in love with the neckline. I think I really want to attempt this kind of a neckline. The body of it, I want to do with knitting with a little bit of knit shaping. So that is a combo one. So I'm going to be doing knitting and crochet to create something like this. And this one too, if I have enough yarn, I'm definitely making it a midi. I kind of like longer dresses, even though I do think a mini dress looks quite good on me. I'm just not super comfortable in them. I'm gonna eat my words with that because my next idea is also a mini dress. And now I think this is the second to last idea I have, crochet knit. This one is a mini dress and it's shown here as like a sewn piece, but I want to accomplish this with a shell stitch. I was thinking, like, I do have a bunch of this bright fuchsia colored Naro Sonata yarn and I don't know what I'm going to use it for. I was looking at this dress and I was thinking maybe something like this with a shell stitch and like playing around with crochet draping. I do have a mannequin, so I could kind of create panels and drape them in a really fun way, but I don't know if I like that color enough. I might kind of look around for some different yarns. In the next 2 weeks, I am going to be going to Mexico, and I'm hoping to pick up a couple yarns in Mexico City. Yeah, I'm really excited about this kind of a dress idea. However, I'm not sold on what yarn I want to do it in. I have one more idea for some crochet, and that is that I really want to make, while I'm in Mexico City, I am going to be making a crochet top. And I found this stitch right here on Pinterest, and I'm pretty sure super straightforward in terms of stitch. I'm pretty sure I can bang this one out. I want to do perhaps like a wrap top or a straight across really loose top that has kind of a slightly deep V in the back with this really nice, like a linen cotton blend. I think it might be Cascade Hampton, but I did throw away the tag, so I have no idea what it is. But really, really pretty. I did think it was going to be a little bit more yellowy green. This is a really pale kind of color. I do think it will still be really nice as like a loose kind of stitch. If I knit it up and I don't love it, I might also dye this one a little bit more of a lime green, but I'm looking at it now in the viewfinder and I do kind of like it. So I think this will be gorgeous for that kind of a crochet top. I feel like crochet is always so nice when you're on the go or traveling because you can really just pick it up and just keep on going. For some reason, I just feel like it's more transportable. It's not as scary because you only have one loop that you can lose, whereas I think with knitting, you have loops all the way around that you can lose when you're knitting and traveling and moving around. So I think that will be a perfect travel kind of creation. So that said, that's all the knitting and crochet elements I have, and I have just 3 more things that I really want to attempt this spring, and they are sewing and painting related. So for my 2 sewing ideas, my first thing is I do think I have maybe a wedding to go to, perhaps this summer or later. My cousin just got engaged and I'm so happy for her. But I think I'm gonna take this as my opportunity to make a wedding dress. If it turns out her dress code does not involve like this kind of a dress, or like it's more wintry, that's okay, but I'm gonna take my opportunity to make my wedding guest dress just because. I do have a ton of like buttercream kind of silk. I really love this example of some kind of shaping for a dress. I found this dress on Pinterest and on a couple other photos of this dress, and overall I don't love the actual dress itself, but from the waist down, I like how the skirt was created, so I'm going to use that skirt inspo and then keep the top quite simple. Now, the fabric that I do have is pretty darn close to white, so if I do end up using this for the wedding, I'm for sure dyeing it a different color, but I think I would wait on that. That's my real big sewing idea that I'm gonna take a lot of time on and be very careful about, because I feel like with sewing I have to be so much more delicate about things because there's so much that can go wrong, but I always think it's such a fun challenge. So I have found myself in the possession of not 1, not 2, but 3 cowhides. I found these as vintage or repurposed cowhides. Some already have cuts in them and things, but I have like a bright burgundy colored one, I have a brown and white one, and I have a white and black speckled one. I'm thinking of using them all for bags or other types of creations, and I have a couple bags for inspo. So for the red one, I'm thinking something like this Nuri Studios red bag I'm in love with, and I think this cowhide is a really good match for the color. However, it's all chopped up into so many pieces, so I might have to do something like this in terms of the pattern, and I have already like cut out all the pieces to do this, and I've gotten a little bit more of like a burgundy leather that I've repurposed from a vintage mini skirt. So that I'm going to be combining to create a fusion of these 2 bags. And then for the speckly cowhide, I am thinking of doing something like this bag. Something slouchy, something rectangular. I'm not sure if it's going to be quite exactly like this one, but general vibes. I really like this shape, this silhouette of this bag. I like this one too. I'm not sure if this is 100% where I'm going to go with the brown cowhide, but I like this one as well. I really want to take my time on each of these bags and create something really special that's going to get a lot of use for many years. And leading into another leather idea is my last one, and I saved this one for last because I know not everyone might be quite as interested in it, but I already do a lot of leather painting, and I have like some examples of some commission bags I've painted. I've done a custom pet portrait painting, I've done just custom designs, I've done a lot of fawn like baby deer bags that have gone insane on TikTok and have sold immediately on my Depop, but I'm thinking of kind of branching off and doing something a little bit different with the leather painting. So I painted this journal, which is my daily journal. I painted the front cover, and my favorite part of painting it was actually the lace, because it's such a fun puzzle to create like a lace design and bring it to life and make it actually look like it's just genuine lace. So for that, I do have a bunch of old vintage real leather boots and shoes and things. I saw these images and I got thinking, I think it would be so fun to do like a lace painted boot, either with like a little bit of like a lace trim or just lace all over. I am so excited about this idea. I think it will be one of the most fun things ever. And this leather paint, because it is specifically designed for leather, it holds up really well. It's held up super well on the bags I've painted, and alarmingly well on my journal, which I throw everywhere. It goes in my bag, it's scuffed. I've painted on journals with acrylic and like other types of things, and it will scratch right off. But this leather paint has some extra stuff in it just to help the paint be super durable and specifically designed to stick to a leather surface. So this is something that I'm super excited about and will probably get started on quite soon. But yeah, that is all I have for all of these many ideas. If you're interested in any of these ideas, please do subscribe and follow along if you want to see any of these come to life. Yeah, if you did watch this whole video, thank you so much for sticking around. I am super appreciative of everyone who showed me so much love on my last video. But if you did like that video and you do want to stick around and see me create any of these kinds of creations, please do stick around, and we'd love to have you here. Thank you again, and bye.